Spaniel owners are often told to do more. Longer walks, more enrichment, and more exercise. If you've got a Spaniel and you constantly feel like you're doing more but nothing seems to change, this video is for you. This one thing made the biggest difference to Sid's behaviour. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it so you can start seeing a difference too. I'm going to show you why this transformed my dog's behaviour. But first, let me give you a little bit of a lowdown. One of the main things I'm noticing a lot of with Spaniels in general is actually their needs are not being met. And as a result of that, what tends to happen is that sort of self-employment is then getting put into various other problem behaviours, such as resource guarding, walking on a leash but their nose is constantly down, reactivity, stealing things, the list genuinely goes on. Something that I tend to implement with my clients on how to combat that is just teaching our Spaniels how to hunt, search for things, bring things back, and it leading to a big positive outcome. One of the biggest contributing factors to why your Spaniel is being such a knob is genuinely down to the factor of their needs are just not being met. And I don't mean standing in a field and chucking a ball launcher over and over again. That doesn't really count. All you're building there is an athlete. You need to tap into their genetics, their instincts, get them working, and I can promise you a lot of your problem behaviors are going to start to fizzle away. For some mind-boggling reason, we feel like just because we've got a high energy working breed that we have to just do absolutely everything with them. And I'm here to tell you that you genuinely don't need to do that. One thing that I see crop up quite a lot is people with Spaniels will be taking their dogs out for like 3 to 4 times a day. Who the fuck has got time for that? Jesus Christ, like genuinely, my dog goes out for maximum probably like 45 minutes every day to every other day, and that is more than enough to satisfy his needs. On the same token, there's people that will take their dogs out for longer durations of time, say maximum 5-10 Ks in one go, which is brilliant if you're trying to build an endurance dog and go on long distance hikes with your dog. But theoretically, they just don't really need that, if I'm honest. One of the biggest things I see with people and Spaniels is their arousal levels are always at DEFCON 10. All the freaking time. And what we're doing here is we're perceiving a dog as high energy and high intensity, when in reality, they're just off their nut and they cannot regulate their nervous system. Which, of course, if you're taking them out for multiple times a day or for longer durations of time every single day, all you're creating is an unhealthy reinforcement schedule that's just going to shoot you in the foot later down the line. Enrichment toys, something else that I feel like people use as a plaster to put on a cut that needs stitches. It honestly, more often than not, probably just creates a significant amount of frustration. If I was to give him an enrichment toy, I honestly dread to think what my house would look like. Everything would be smashed up. Everything would be attacked and destroyed because he just gets so overly frustrated by something like that. Yeah, there are some dogs out there that do enjoy doing these things here and there, but if you've got a dog that is wired and that just needs an outlet, chances are if you're sieving through enrichment toys like your life depends on it, we need to do something about it. Something that really grinds my gears is giving your dog access to, say, snuffle mats. Sorry, but we're in a field. This is as natural as it gets. You are literally accessing a snuffle mat completely free of charge. So why not utilize that to your advantage to fulfill your Spaniel? Oh, really quickly, guys, whilst I've got your attention, if you have a gun dog breed and you're sat there thinking, surely it shouldn't be this hard, download our free Pet Gun Dog Handbook. It's going to go into detail on why these things are happening and give you practical ways in which you can deal with them so that you don't run into these problems in the future. All you have to do is click the link in the description below and it's going to direct you straight over to the handbook. I briefly touched on this earlier. This is something that I genuinely, when I see it out in public, it grinds my gears. People that utilize what I describe as the lazy lobber, which is, you know, the ball launchers where you just put a tennis ball into it, launch it,
and your dog repeatedly just brings it back and retrieves it every single time. Honestly, you could actually get quite a good decent amount of structure out of that if you just implemented a little bit of where the dog actually slows down and can process what is happening. But 9 times out of 10 what's happening is it's just a complete conveyor belt of the dog retrieving it, bringing it back, throwing it out, retrieving it, bringing it back. Not to mention the detriment that that's probably having on their joints, something that with our Spaniels we need to take exceptional care of because they can be quite susceptible to elbow and hip dysplasia. Of course, if you want an adrenaline junkie that's just absolutely off its tits and cannot sit still for longer than 30 seconds, by all means, keep doing what you're doing. Spaniels were bred for purpose, working with you, not against you, using their nose, harnessing their senses and flushing out game on the field. Using that brain that really needs stimulating, because if we don't engage them cognitively, chances are what's going to be happening is we're just going to be left with an unruly dog that's just buzzing off its head. I always like to go by the saying of tire the brain and the legs will follow. Here is the one thing that changed my Spaniel's behaviour for the better. Now, it's not a leash, it's not a harness, it's not a long line, it's not even any form of tool of that caliber. What it actually really is one of these, a rabbit ball. And as you can see, he absolutely fucking loves it. When I actually incorporated this with my dog and incorporated hunting and get him to actually work for the ball itself, I understood him in a new light for one, and two, he was just so much happier and fulfilled, meaning that could then translate into other parts of his life. So now I'm gonna show you how I actively use this in a session with my Spaniel. You can do this one of 2 ways. You don't have to go down the traditional whistle route. If your dog understands a find it, you can also implement this as well. One of the reasons why I love this so much is it is so time friendly, but also time efficient. I can do this for as minimum as maybe like 10 minutes at a time, and it's more than enough to provide my Spaniel with some fulfillment. So what you need to do is with your rabbit ball, you are going to go and spread out some scent on the floor. Now, one of the other reasons as to why I love doing this exercise with my dog so much is it actually implements quite a lot of other aspects of training. So right now, Sid is holding a sit whilst I am going and placing out this scent with the ball, meaning we're not only working through some impulse control, but we're also doing a little bit of some proofing and generalizing of his behaviors. So as I place this down, just wafting some scent around, because I want him to obviously go from side to side and really hunt this ground in search for this ball. Now, I'm not placing it just yet. So what you need to do is once you're happy with how much you've spread it, you're going to slyly make it disappear. Look at that, Houdini who. You're going to come back to your dog and you're going to cast them off. Now, obviously, my dog understands a hunt whistle, so that is what I'm going to be using. For you guys at home, you can either use a hunt whistle from conditioning your dog to it, or just use like a find it or something like that that you would love introduced with food or something. He's going to go off and start hunting. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for a moment where his back is turned, and I'm going to place the ball down ready for him to search and find it. So a little bit more encouragement. So in a moment, ball has been placed. So he's searching, searching, searching. Oh, hello. Hey! Get your dog back. Again, you don't have to have any fanciness or anything like that. Dead. You can just have them with you with the retrieval item. There we go, that's 1 repetition. You could do that 3 or 4 times and I can guarantee you, your dog's gonna love it. Now, a different way in which you can achieve this is you can actually have your dog in a sit, you can walk out, spread your scent as you would do normally, but have the ball placed down as you do it. So I'll demonstrate what that looks like. So you've got Sid here, Sandy, come, sit. Have him in his sit, and I'm gonna walk out again with my rabbit ball, and shimmy a little bit of it down on the ground. Then what we're looking for, so I've placed the ball there, ball is gone, still gonna kind of pretend that I'm wafting over here. I'm gonna come back to the dog, cast them off again, send them off looking for it. Twitch are gonna go straight in, really using that cover. As you can see, proper working Spaniel, nose down, just pounding through that cover, just how he should do. Grit and determination on that ball. Over he comes. Good lad. Dead. So I would probably do that if you find that your dog struggles with you picking it up. Just gives it a little bit more predictability. Still not seeing where it is, because obviously I've slightly placed it down, but it works really well in our favour. So all I really would need to do is probably repeat that maybe 4 or 5 times, and before long, what I'm going to find out is that my dog is Sparko, because he's fulfilled. When you nail fulfillment, you're going to see noticeable changes with your dog. They're going to engage with you more. You're going to see an improvement in loose lead walking, because they're not going to be as tense and fired up on pressuring that lead over and over and over again. With them being satisfied, they're obviously going to settle at home significantly easier, and it's just going to make your life so much better. And you'll find that because you're doing this with your dog, they're going to be able to regulate much better, because their adrenaline isn't bouncing off the roof all the fucking time. As a whole, fulfillment should make your life easier, not harder.